Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely pumped that you're here. Today, our focus is squarely on breaking down Ansible from top to bottom. If you are entirely new to this technology, you are in the exact right place. We're going to strip away all that complex jargon and really build your understanding from the ground up, keeping everything crystal clear. Okay, let's just dive right into it.
So picture this scenario for a second. Your boss comes up to you and says, hey, we need to update the security configurations on 1,000 different servers by noon. If you were doing that manually, logging into each server one by one, typing out the commands, constantly checking for errors, it would be an absolute nightmare. You would literally lose your mind. Well, this is the exact problem that automation is built to solve. And today, we're introducing you to the hero of our story, Ansible.
Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with a welcome to what Ansible is, explore the magic of its agentless architecture, translate the core jargon, trace how it actually works step by step, and then finally compare the free community version against the paid enterprise platform.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Welcome to Ansible, the automation engine.
So, what exactly is it? Well, at its core, Ansible is an open-source IT automation engine. It automates provisioning, configuration management, application deployment, you name it. But here is the absolute best part if you're a beginner. It uses something called YAML. And yes, that literally stands for yet another markup language. I know, right? But unlike those really heavy, complex programming languages, YAML is actually human-readable. It reads almost exactly like plain English. You definitely don't need a computer science degree to look at an Ansible file and understand what it's trying to do, and that makes the barrier to entry incredibly low. And because it's so approachable, it's incredibly versatile across the board. You can use it to provision cloud infrastructure, whether that's AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. You can automate network devices like your routers and switches. It's heavily relied on for enforcing security and compliance, making sure all your systems actually have the right patches. Plus, you can automate disaster recovery so things just bounce back on their own. And of course, it's widely used for seamlessly deploying apps in your CI/CD pipelines. It's basically a Swiss Army knife for IT.
Moving right along to Section 2, the magic of Agentless, why Ansible is different. Now this is a massive differentiator. A lot of other automation tools out there require you to install a piece of software, which they call an agent, on every single server you want to manage. But Ansible? Ansible is agentless. There is no extra software, no background daemon running on your target machines. Instead, it just piggybacks on the standard built-in communication protocols that are already there. We're talking SSH for Linux or WinRM for Windows. For a beginner, this is just fantastic. It means zero overhead, no bootstrapping headaches trying to get agents installed before you can even start working, and crucially, no extra security vulnerabilities from running third-party software on your machine.
All right, let's tackle a slightly fancy word that actually represents a core philosophy of Ansible, idempotency. Big word, simple concept. It basically means that whether you run your automation script once or 100 times, the end result on that system is exactly the same, with zero unintended side effects. Think of it like this. If you tell Ansible, hey, make sure the web server is running, and it's already running, Ansible is smart enough to just look at it, say, looks good, and leave it alone. It acts as this incredible safety net, so you never really have to panic about accidentally breaking things just because you ran a script twice.
All right, Section 3, Playbooks, Roles, and Inventories, translating the jargon. Let's start with the machines themselves. In Ansible speak, you've got your control node, and you've got your manage nodes. The control node is simply the machine where Ansible is actually installed. It's your home base, where you sit and run your commands. The manage nodes, those are your targets, the servers, the cloud instances, the network switches that you're actually automating. It helps to think of the control node as an orchestra conductor standing at the podium. The manage nodes are the musicians, just following the conductor's lead to create the final performance.
Next up, playbooks versus roles. Now this is definitely a common area where beginners get tripped up, so let's clear it up. A playbook is your main program. It's the master blueprint, written in that simple YAML language that holds the complete set of instructions for the job. But as your projects grow, you really don't want one massive, messy playbook, right? That's where roles come in. A role is essentially a reusable subroutine designed for one very specific goal, like, say, setting up a database. You write that role once, tuck it away in a folder, and then you can easily share it with your team or drop it into a bunch of different playbooks.
And finally, we have the inventory. Your inventory is exactly what it sounds like. It's your master list of targets. It tells Ansible what it's actually supposed to be managing. By default, this is usually just a simple text file, often found sitting at /etc/ansible/hosts, that just lists out IP addresses or host names. And hey, please don't worry about memorizing that file path right now. The really cool thing here is how you organize it. You can group things logically. For example, you could put all your database IP addresses under a simple bracketed heading that just says databases. Now, these inventories can be static text files, or they can even be dynamic scripts that constantly check in with your cloud provider to see what servers are actually turned on at that exact moment.
Moving into Section 4, how Ansible actually works, the step-by-step workflow.
Let's actually walk through this workflow. It's a really seamless 5-step process. Step 1, you create your inventory, giving it the list of target IP addresses. Step 2, you write your playbook, spelling out exactly what you want the final system state to be. Step 3, you execute that playbook right from the command line on your control node. Step 4, and this is really where the magic happens. Ansible instantly connects to your target nodes over standard SSH or WinArm and pushes out these little programs. And finally, Step 5, it executes those programs to make your changes and then cleans up after itself. Boom, done. It's such an elegant, rapid flow.
So the real secret sauce here is understanding exactly what is getting pushed over in that 4th step. Those are called modules. Modules are the absolute heavy lifters of Ansible. Think of them as tiny, highly specific tools, like yum or apt if you need to install packages, or copy if you just need to move some files around. Ansible connects, drops these modules onto the server, runs them to do the actual heavy lifting, and then completely deletes them the second they finish. And that right there is exactly how it pulls off that awesome agentless architecture we talked about.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, free versus paid enterprise, scaling up.
So everything we've been talking about so far, the core Ansible engine, is completely free and open source. It's known as Community Ansible, but it is entirely command line driven. You're on your own for DIY security, and if you get stuck, you're heading to community forums for support. However, Red Hat, the company behind Ansible, also offers a premium, paid version called the Red Hat Ansible Automation Platform. This is custom-built for large enterprises. It takes that core engine and slaps on a beautiful web UI, brings in enterprise-grade security, and gives you official 24/7 support.
When you lay them out side by side like this, it becomes incredibly obvious why massive companies are willing to pay for the platform. Look at management. Free users are typing commands into a black terminal screen, while paid users get a centralized, highly visual web dashboard. For security, free users have to manually juggle SSHTs and permissions across servers, whereas the paid tier includes strict role-based access control, or RBAC. That means you can lock down exactly who is allowed to run which specific automation job. And then analytics. Instead of just watching walls of text scroll by in a terminal, enterprise users get these rich, visual dashboards that track performance across the entire organization. It's a whole different ballgame.
And honestly, the paid platform just keeps evolving. Take a look at their recent 2.6 release of the Ansible Automation Platform. They've added an automation dashboard that's specifically designed to help business leaders measure their actual return on investment. They've rolled out a self-service automation portal, meaning someone who knows absolutely nothing about IT can just log in, click a button, and safely run a complex IT task. And probably the coolest feature for beginners, they've integrated Ansible Lightspeed. It's a generative AI assistant built right into the UI that literally helps you write your automation code. How cool is that?
So let's bring this all together. Ultimately, the true value of Ansible is swapping out all that tedious, manual, error-prone toil for reliable consistency. It gives you the power to create these perfect little bundles of automation content that are infinitely reusable and shareable. You bang your head against the wall solving a complex problem once, you package it up into a role, and you literally never have to manually type out those configurations ever again.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer. You now know the vocabulary, you understand the genius of the agentless architecture, and you know the exact step-by-step workflow of how Ansible operates. So I want to leave you with a quick challenge. Take a look at your daily routine. Think about those annoying little things you do over and over again. What manual IT task are you going to automate with your very first playbook? Get out there, write a little YAML, and start automating today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.